Our week 7 lesson is all about methods of cooking poultry. The most essential learning competency for this topic is prepare poultry and game bird dishes. And our objectives are number 1, describe the two methods of cooking poultry dishes. Number 2, prepare and cook poultry dishes. And number 3, realize the importance of principles of cooking poultry. For the review of the past lesson, let us have part ko yarn. So what you're going to do is to name the parts of a whole poultry. You have 15 seconds to answer all the given color tags. Okay, let us answer. For the yellow tag, we have breast. For the green tag, we have wing or the wing part. On the pink tag, we have drumsticks. On the orange tag, the answer is thigh or the thigh part. For the violet tag, we have leg quarter. And for the blue tag, we have giblets. Very good. You are now ready for our next topic. To start with, let us watch this short video.
The story of fire. Early man used to hunt and gather food in the forest. He lived on fruits and roots of plants. Fire was man's first great discovery. He learned that fire could be made by striking two stones against each other. Finally, early man invented fire. He then became fond of cooked food and started eating cooked food.
The discovery of fire enabled men to cook their food, making it more tender, more delicious, more digestible, and safer because it kills microorganisms. These are the guide questions for our topic. Number 1, how dry heat cooking differ from moist heat cooking? And number 2, what are the factors to consider in using any of the two methods of cooking? Methods of cooking are ways or techniques that will make food edible for human consumption with the use of heat. We have two types of cooking method. We have the dry heat cooking and the moist heat cooking method. Dry heat cooking is a process where food is exposed to a direct source of heat, either from below or above the food. An example of dry heat cooking are, number 1, we have grilling, or the cooking where the heat source is below the food. You can use red hot charcoal or red hot grills. Number 2 is barbecuing. That is also grilling, except that the food is repeatedly basted or brushed with marinade sauce or an oil. Number 3 is roasting, where the food is constantly rotating as it cooked in an open fire. If in grilling, the heat source is below the food, in broiling, that is where the heat source is above the food. Dry heat cooking is a direct heat method which causes dryness in meat, and to prevent that, we can apply these simple ways to make our meat juicy and tender. Number 1, we have basting or brushing of marinades or cooking oil in food. Number 2, we have larding or inserting of fat in food. And number 3, we have larding or wrapping of fat in food. Frying is under the dry heat cooking. There are different types of frying. We have the deep pot frying, where the food to be cooked is submerged in cooking oil. The way we cook our fried chicken or breaded chicken. Next, we have the pan frying, or frying using shallow cooking oil. Another type of frying is sautéing, a French term meaning to toss or to jump the food to be cooked in cooking oil. An example of that is chicken and mushroom. Next, we have the griddle frying, or frying in little or no fat at all. And we have baking, or cooking in an enclosed chamber that generates heat, or what we call an oven. Now we have the moist heat cooking. That is cooking with the use of any liquid as a medium in transferring the heat, such as water, broth, fruit juice, and others. The best example of moist heat cooking is a boiling. That is cooking with the use of water that breaks at the surface, or cooking at 100 degrees Celsius. We have simmering, or cooking in liquid below boiling point or at 71 to 80 degrees Celsius. Next, we have steaming, or cooking by using the steam or vapor that generates in hot water. Next, we have poaching, or cooking in water below simmering and used to cook delicate foods like eggs, fish, or even chicken breast. We also have a combination of cooking methods. We have the stewing and braising, where food is browned or cooked first in an oil and thoroughly cooked in liquid to produce a sauce. Stewing uses small pieces of meat, while braising uses larger pieces of meat. Let us now have our activity 1. Pinoy ako. Name the Pinoy chicken dishes being described using the different methods of cooking. Number 1, a stewed chicken dish cooked in vinegar, soy sauce with garlic, peppercorns, salt, and bay leaf. The answer is adobong manok. Number 2 is a Pinoy dish which literally means seated chicken. It's a steam cooked on a bed of rock. And the answer is pinaupong manok. Next, a boiled chicken dish cooked with a souring agent or sampalok. And that is pinampalukang manok. For number 4, a chicken dish cooked by braising in a milk or gata with pineapples, carrots, potatoes, and bell pepper. And the answer is pininyahang manok. Grab your paper and pen for our activity. We have the Venn diagram. Use the graphic organizer to compare the two methods of cooking. Write their differences in the outer circle space and their similarity in the inner space. You have 15 seconds to answer. Let us now answer. We have the dry heat cooking on the left side, and we have the moist heat cooking on the right side. Dry heat cooking uses direct heat, where moist heat cooking uses liquid or water in cooking. Dry heat cooking are ideal for tender meats or young poultry, For moist heat cooking is ideal for top meats or from matured poultry. Dry heat cooking requires a shorter cooking time, while moist heat cooking requires a longer cooking time. And their similarity is they both uses any heat source to cook food. For our assessment, let us play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I will post the link for this game. You can download it and play it offline. You have three helping lines. The 50-50, where two among the four choices will be eliminated. We have phone a friend and ask the audience. Let us play. For number one question, frying with the use of shallow oil, is it A. Pan frying, B. Poaching, C. Roasting, D. Stir frying? Okay, let us choose letter A. You will be asked, is that your final answer? Yes. And we got it right. For number two question, for $200, cooking where the heat source is below the food. Is it A. Broiling, B. Frying, C. Grilling, D. Roasting? And the answer is C. Grilling. Okay, for number 3. Used for cooking delicate foods like fish. Is it A. Pan frying, B. Poaching, C. Sauteing, D. Stir frying? Let us use the 50-50 helpline. The remaining answer is letter B and letter C. Let us choose letter C. Okay, for number 4, cooking method with the use of an oil. Is it A. Boiling, B. Frying, C. Grilling, D. Steaming? Let us choose letter B. Next question. It is done by turning the food in a spit in an open fire. Is it A. Broiling, B. Frying, C. Grilling, D. Roasting? The answer is B. The oil is enough to completely submerge the food to be cooked. Is it A. Deep fat frying, letter B. Frying, C. Sauteing, D. Stir frying? The answer is, let's check. Number 7. A chamber that generates heat from red charcoal or from electric bars. Is it A. Casserole, B. Grill pan, C. Oven, D. Rotisserie? The answer is C. Number 8. French term that means to jump or to toss. Is it A. Pan frying, B. Poaching, C. Sauteing, D. Stir frying? Let us use the phone a friend. Okay, according to him, the answer is C. Is that our final answer? Yes. Cooking method that does not use water. Is it A. Braising, B. Dry heat, C. Moist heat, D. Stewing? The answer is B. Let's check. Okay, for number 10 question, also considered as grilling except the food is repeatedly basted or brushed. Is it A. Baking, B. Barbecuing, C. Broiling, D. Roasting? Okay, let us check letter B. Is that our final answer? Yes. For number 11, which among the poultry dishes uses an oven? Is it A. Buttered chicken, B. Chicken inasal, C. Chicken relleno, or D. Roast chicken? Let us choose letter D. For number 12 question, method of cooking used in tinola? Is it A. Barbecuing, B. Boiling, C. Simmering, D. Steaming? Obviously, we have to choose letter B. For number 13, cooking below boiling point. Is it A. Deep fat frying, B. Pan frying, C. Poaching, or D. Simmering? Okay, let us use or choose letter D. Okay, for the 14th question, all are mediums in moist heat cooking except A. Gata, B. Hugas bigas, C. Olive oil, D. Soup stock. Let us ask the audience. Okay, according to them, the answer is C. Olive oil. Let us check. Okay, the last question for $1 million. Which does not belong to moist heat cooking? Is it A. Boiling, B. Poaching, C. Steaming, D. Roasting? Okay, the answer is D. Let's check. For your assessment from SLM page 34, make one special poultry recipe dish of your mom or your lola and write it in one whole sheet of paper. And ask your nanay about her 5 chicken menu that the family is enjoying every time it is served. And what is her secret in cooking her chicken menu? For your reflection, please answer these questions. If given a chance to own a business in selling chicken, what would it be? And how can you apply your learnings in poultry cookery? To end our lesson, let me leave you this quote. No one is born a great cook. One learns by doing, and that is from Julia Child. If you have questions, you can email me at mary.hopio@deped.gov.ph or send me a message through Facebook account Joy Hopio. Thank you!